Thanks for joining us. I'm Virginie Anne. We begin tonight in Nunavut. The territory is getting a $17 million boost to reduce its reliance on diesel. Leaders say the federal funding is part of a plan to make Canada a clean energy superpower. The money is going toward 4 renewable energy projects involving wind, solar, and battery storage. It's being split up between Nunavut Nukiksaltit Corporation, Iqaluit's Arkansas Hotel, as well as Kulik Energy Corporation and Saku Investments Corporation. Nunavut MP Lori Idlaut made the announcement in Iqaluit yesterday.
Investing in clean energy solutions for Indigenous communities is non-negotiable for ensuring energy security, reconciliation, self-determination, and economic development for Indigenous peoples in Nunavut and beyond.
Idlaut says that those projects could help improve energy security, lower emissions, and reduce dependence on imported fuel. Nunavut currently uses more than 54 million liters of diesel every year to generate electricity. And talking about clean energy, the Nunavik village of Qatak is one step closer to taking control of its energy production. Construction has started on a wind turbine, and as Samuel Watt reports, the benefits extend beyond just clean energy.
It shovels in for Nunavik's newest clean energy project.
This will be a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase that these projects can really be operated and owned by the communities.
Carson Taguna has high hopes this wind energy project in Qatak can help the community become more self-sufficient. He's with Takuti, the Inuit-owned firm building the 3,000 kilowatt turbine. He believes the project comes with many benefits: new jobs, new revenue, and a new way to power Nunavik. Quebec wants to be net zero by 2050, and most of the province runs on renewables. But most of Nunavik's 14 villages rely exclusively on diesel. The region's harsh climate poses some logistical challenges, but before that, Taguna said they spent a lot of time looking for the right turbine.
Funnily enough, the high winds that we have in the north are actually a challenge for certain turbines.
Taguna explains some turbines that can withstand high winds are too big for a community of 500 like Qatak. They managed to settle on a model already used at a mine elsewhere in Nunavik. Emily He with the clean energy think tank Pembina Institute says many energy systems in the north are historically controlled by provincial and federal governments, so it's high time for communities like Qatak to have more say on the energy needs.
They're able to take control, ownership, and have the pride associated with their locally generated energy systems.
Qatak's turbine is expected to be built by fall next year and be operational before 2029. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The new airport terminal in Rankin Inlet, Nunavut, has finally opened its doors. The first flight to the terminal came in from Baker Lake this morning, and arriving passengers took in the new building as they came in. Calm Air has been setting up its new workstation for about a week. The airline says the new terminal provides many benefits that weren't there before.
There's a faster line for elderly people or people with wheelchairs. There's a separate check-in and it's faster than regular check-in. It will be a lot more comfortable and faster for people in wheelchairs having their own check-in counter.
A resident of Baker Lake who arrived on this morning's flight says the terminal reminded him of a big city airport.
Well, almost like coming into a city. A lot better than the old terminal, that's for sure.
The opening has faced numerous delays because of supply issues. So the old terminal will be demolished starting the first week of July as part of phase 2 of construction. And the new terminal will also include an elders waiting room plus space for people to eat and play. So that's expected to be completed by April 2028. Well, the Alaskan Highway is a lifeline for Yukoners, Americans, and tourists, but permafrost and other natural factors make the upkeep a northern nightmare. CBC Bruce de la Cruz updates us on the latest efforts to improve the highway's conditions.
Bumps, cracks, and potholes are a common sight on the Alaska Highway. Amrit Paul Singh is making a pit stop in Beaver Creek. On his second trip from BC on the Alaska Highway, he's still not impressed with the conditions.
From BC it's all right, BC to Whitehorse is all right, but from Whitehorse to all the way to Beaver Creek, it's just pretty bad.
Locals in Beaver Creek either agree
It's a highway. Really, to tell you the truth, it's not even worth driving on most of the time.
or are indifferent.
I mean, it's rough, but like it's been like that probably my whole life.
To help stem the tide, numerous projects to improve the highway have taken place since the 70s. The US government recently approved $25 million extending maintenance to 2031. Crews are working on repairs now between Beaver Creek and Destruction Bay. The Highways and Public Works Department highlights the need for this work, maintaining this vital link between Yukoners and our American neighbors.
Yeah, and this funding will ultimately support our government's work of rehabilitating the Northern Alaska Highway, and that's obviously, like I mentioned, a benefit to rural Yukoners up there, and also to folks in Alaska traveling through the Yukon up into the States. So,
at the end of the day, people like Amrit Paul Singh just want the work to be done soon.
Just fix it, man. That's it.
Crews are currently working between the Donjack River Bridge and White River Bridge. Bruce de la Cruz, CBC News, Beaver Creek.
Along the Yukon River, Fort Selkirk was once bustling. It's partway between Dawson City and Whitehorse. It was once an important trading place for Indigenous people and settlers, and it's now a historic site co-managed by the Yukon government and the Selkirk First Nation. Getting to Fort Selkirk is not easy, but an Indigenous-owned tourism company is making it feasible and bringing stories to life.
My name is Terry Lee Isaac, and I'm the owner of Tashoni Tours. So Fort Selkirk is known as the largest historic site in the Yukon Territory. I don't think a lot of people know that. I'm trying to get the word out there. So it was always at the back of my mind that I would start it one day. I didn't know I was actually going to do it. I wasn't scared to tell my stories. It was more about the business aspect, like how do you run a business? Like, what do you do? And I still don't know it all. I mean, like, I'm 6 years into this business now, and I'm still learning a thing or two about, taxation, for instance, being my own bookkeeper and all of that fun stuff. But I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm taking one day at a time, and I'm learning along the way. We talked a lot about residential school and churches. So going back to it, what I found with the stories growing up from my grandmother especially is she never talked about the history of residential school, given that she was still healing from it, and I didn't realize it at the time. And it was later on in the early 2000s that she slowly started telling her story, and I started understanding more about who we are as Indigenous people and how we were so colonized to the fact that we were shunned from even speaking about our history. And I thought, what's the point of keeping these beautiful stories hidden when they should be told? And obviously I tell stories that should be, like, I get permission to tell the stories. I don't just blurb them out and tell anything. And there are some things that I'm not allowed to share that's only kept within our Indigenous culture because some of it is sacred. But I do tell about the history of us living here and the fact that Robert Campbell was not the first to find Fort Selkirk. We were here 5,000 years before he came along, and how we were trading with the Chilkats and the Alaska people for years before the trading with the Hudson's Bay Company came along. And a lot of people don't know that because it's not written in the stories. There's hardly any books about it, actually. It's all about the gold rush. She would teach reading and writing like an hour to 2 hours a day, and then they could go off and do what they want after that. They're listening and they're learning, and they have all of these questions. So sometimes my tours, normally they would last 2 hours, but if somebody is so interested in my tour, these tours could last up to 4 hours a day. And so that means that's all the questions and the answers that they're getting from me, and I'm happy to fill their heads with whatever information they want to know, because I think the more education we put out there about Indigenous culture is the more understanding people will be with Indigenous culture. And so when I meet them, I find out where they come from. A lot of them come from Europe. A lot of Canadians are traveling with me. And I love how intrigued they are to learn about the Indigenous history, because that's me just wanting to fulfill my dream with the whole purpose of running this tourism operation.
And you can tune into Airplay on CBC Yukon Radio 1 tomorrow afternoon for a special show all about Fort Selkirk. An Arctic leader and sports legend has passed away. Ernie Bernard served his community on many levels. He represented the Kitikmeot as MLA in 1991 and was later the mayor of Kugluktuk. A former student of legendary coach Edward Lenny, Bernard also spent decades teaching, coaching, and promoting Arctic sports across the north. NWT Commissioner Jerry Kissoon met Bernard in the 1960s through the Northern Games.
Ernie always had that really good attitude about trying to teach somebody, and he always wanted to make sure that the games were done properly.
In later years, Bernard and his wife Beatrice shared his residential school story to raise awareness. Kissoon says sharing those stories wasn't easy, but Bernard knew it was important. He says he'll remember his friend for being dedicated to his community, culture, and athletes he mentored.
This is our living story.
Now is the time.
I make people believe that impossible things are possible.
Looking for stories about Indigenous peoples from across the country?
We know where you can find them.
Zinez Hotier, my name is Edzi Ulevrin, and I'm Tahltan Nation and Taku River Tlingit First Nation.
CBC Indigenous.
My name is Brett Forster, and I'm from the Chippewas of Kettle and Stony Point First Nation.
Creative.
Engaging.
Informative.
Grounded in First Nation.
Métis.
And Inuit communities.
You're back.
I'm back. Anything else going on?
Mom? Nope. Where have you been for the past 15 years?
On the run.
You are done with all the crime, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were going to steal us a diamond. Are you going to be able to keep it together on this one?
I am nothing if not profesh. Don't make me use this. Hi.
This is Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Jessica, she seems great.
We should all go out sometime.
I would love that.
Wild Cards on CBC Gem.
You know what they say, Crabtree? Happy wife, happy life.
What have you done?
Seems the city of Toronto has a paid killer on the books.
In order to solve a crime, we are going to need to commit one.
Local news is in decline, and this is bad news for all of us. That's why CBC News is putting more journalists in more places across Canada, because local news is big news.
In the Yukon, 2 new totem poles now stand at the base of the Chilkoot Trail. Tagish First Nation unveiled them this past weekend. They stand in Bennett, BC, at the base of the historic route best known for the gold rush. The Chilkoot Trail is visited by thousands of hikers every year, and the First Nation says these poles reassert the land's significance to the Tagish and Tlingit people who have used this area for fishing, hunting, and trading for generations. One pole represents the crow moitié and the other the wolf moitié. Well, the Council of Yukon First Nations 46th General Assembly is underway. Delegates representing Yukon First Nations are meeting just outside Burwash Landing. Kluane First Nation is hosting this year's assembly. Speeches were delivered today by a wide variety of people, including the National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, Cindy Woodhouse-Nepinak. She also took questions from Yukon chiefs. They spoke about an upcoming First Ministers meeting in the fall, which will be led by First Nations. So the final day of the assembly is on Thursday. A social housing development in downtown Yellowknife is one step closer to opening its doors. The 50-unit building is set to welcome tenants by July next year. Officials from the city, territorial, and federal governments signed the final beam before it was installed today. 25 of the units are designed for single occupancy, including seniors. The other 25 are two-bedroom units intended for small families.
Yeah, there's a big demand for this type of unit. Housing NWT recently posted a territorial housing needs assessment. One of its primary findings were that we need more 1- and 2-bedroom units. That's just a shifting demographics, and it's not unique to the territory. We see that across Canada as well. But the wait list is heavily weighted towards those type of units.
The territorial needs assessment reported 305 families in the capital city were on the wait list as of December 2025. And of those, 170 were seeking a 1-bedroom apartment, and 82 families were seeking 2 bedrooms. Tenants may come directly from the wait list or be transferred from another housing NWT unit. Some healthcare practitioners across Canada are upset with the federal government over a new policy affecting asylum seekers and refugee claimants. The policy affects supplementary healthcare services. So some advocates for one such services, mental health care, are particularly upset over a new yearly limit on the number of therapy sessions refugees can receive. CBC learned about the limit after it was quietly introduced as part of new legislation back in May. Rafi Bouji-Kenyan reports.
When Ottawa decided to make refugee claimants pay for a part of some healthcare services, advocates organized protests across Canada.
Call your MP.
But the government went further. An email at the end of April announced a maximum of 10 one-hour treatment sessions per calendar year. Following pushback from therapists, patients already in the system could request to extend their sessions beyond the 10-session limit. But only this year. Starting in 2027, all beneficiaries will be subject to it.
I don't think that is going to be a good idea.
Amir Sadegatipour moved here as an Iranian refugee after a stay in England. He says he benefited from more than 100 hours of counseling.
I'm very grateful from the government or whoever was in charge of that program, you know.
What are we going to do with this? We're going to cover this?
Andrew Gibson agrees. Coming from the Bahamas as a refugee more than 2 years ago, he now runs a community kitchen after receiving extensive therapy.
I was able to be more charismatic, be more human, you know, be more inviting to people. And it helped me a lot.
Their therapist says refugees have often escaped war or other traumas and need more therapy, and says the new rules will have long-term public health consequences.
Hospitals get so jammed up, and then the everyday person also can't go to the hospital. And so all of our resources suddenly become so drained.
Immigration Canada could not say how much money the cuts to hours will save, but says the overhaul to refugee healthcare could amount to about $200 million a year. It has estimated making patients pay some of the costs could save about $17 million this year. Rafi Bouji-Kenyan, CBC News, Ottawa.
Last week, the federal government announced major changes to bail and sentencing laws. They would see people charged with certain crimes kept behind bars unless they can prove why they deserve bail. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the laws will help keep violent offenders off the streets, but others worry the changes will mean innocent people are left to wait months or even years in jail.
We have a crisis of detention here in Canada. Just to give you an idea, last week I called staff at the North Slave Correctional Complex here in Yellowknife just to get an idea of the numbers. The jail here in Yellowknife, the adult jail, which is primarily for men, holds 156 people. There are 142 people in it right now. So it's near capacity. I started coming up to the Northwest Territories back in 2018, and back then the jail was less than half capacity, and it was like that for years. It's 142 in custody now in Yellowknife. That doesn't count people who may be in custody in police detachments across the territory. But the shocking thing is, and this is consistent across Canada, that of those 142 people in custody, only 19 are serving a sentence. More than 120 are there on remand. In other words, they're people who are presumed innocent, who are waiting for their trial. So this new legislation is going to lead to even more. It's going to lead to more overcrowding in our jails. And you layer on top of that Indigenous people are grossly overrepresented in our jails. So this is going to impact the Indigenous population even more.
That lawyer says the reform only applies to certain crimes like violent auto theft and breaking and entering a private home. He says judges and Crown attorneys were already denying bail at a much higher rate, making the changes redundant. An NWT chief has won a $2.5 million lottery jackpot. The Western Canada Lottery Corporation announced the win today. In a press release, the corporation says Ernest Betsina won the jackpot after buying the ticket at Gastown in Yellowknife. Betsina is chief of the Yellowknife's Dene First Nation in Deta. The release describes Betsina as a regular player of Lotto games. Betsina declined CBC requests to comment, but he's quoted describing the win as an incredible feeling. Betsina won the draw on May 16th. A large crowd gathered in downtown Yellowknife Saturday to celebrate the official renaming of Franklin Avenue to Williday Avenue. The change recognizes the long-standing presence of Yellowknife's Dene in the area. DLO Chief Fred Sengris says the former street name overlooked the people who lived here long before Yellowknife was established. He says the new name reflects the history of the people who helped shape the region. So the ceremony included drumming, dancing, and the unveiling of the new street signs in the city's downtown core. Another celebration over the weekend in Klutsulke. Klutsulke Dene School had the largest graduating school since the school started, offering grade 12, and that was 15 years ago. 6 young people crossed the floor. The principal of the school says she is proud of her students.
I mean, it's taken a lot of perseverance and resilience on their part. They come to school, they get their work done. Sometimes, I won't lie, sometimes there's a lot of you can do it, and it's really learning this year to believe in themselves and that they can accomplish it.
Aliyah Catholic is 17. She's one of the graduates, and she will now be pursuing her studies at Aurora College for office administration.
I feel great. I feel nervous. I'm so proud of myself that I went this far.
The graduation was followed by a community feast and a drum dance in honor of the graduates. A new documentary showcasing Inuit women breaking barriers is now available to stream. A screening of the film was held in Iqaluit over the long weekend. It's called Tough Old Broads. It follows the life of Sheila Watt Cloutier over 3 years. She's an Inuk from Nunavik who pioneered work on collecting climate change to human rights. Cloutier says she was inspired by strong women in her life.
Seeing that my mother and grandmother, who even, when the fathers were not even there, kept going, and I never saw them with a sense of victimness about them, never. And they were strong, and they maintained grace, and I honored that throughout my life. And I said, I continue to honor the way in which I lead, and so they stay with me.
She hopes the documentary will bring hope and show Indigenous people as teachers instead of victims. The documentary can now be streamed on yestv.com. While a heat dome is settling in over much of Europe, sending temperatures soaring. London is recording temperatures hotter than Nigeria's biggest city. Italy has issued a heat wave alert in 15 cities, while temperatures in Spain are set to peak above 40 degrees. Ross Collin reports from Paris, where the heat is setting all-time records.
Well, on Tuesday, the French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu holding another crisis meeting. It's become a daily occurrence here for ministers to try to ensure that they are offering residents and citizens across France emergency relief and measures in care homes and in schools to try to help combat the heat. Tuesday, the hottest ever day in France since records began in the 1940s. At 3 p.m. local time, 30 degrees was the average temperature across the whole of the country. And in fact, to illustrate that point, Brittany, which is in the northwest of France, one of the coldest and wettest parts of the nation, was 43 degrees, showing just how hot it is.
There have always been extreme weather events. There have always been storms. There have always been heat waves. These are just events that are more unusual than our typical day-to-day weather. But what's happening under climate change is that many of these extreme events are becoming intensified. So when we have a heat wave, we're now seeing temperatures in Europe that are 2 to 4 degrees higher than would have been the case without human-caused warming.
Here in the capital, 37 degrees, but very uncomfortable to be outside. We've seen the mayor of Paris open parks all night and even open up the canal to swimming to try to offer residents some respite. However, the heat wave has also been fatal here in France. 2 children died after being left in a hot car. 3 elderly people died due to heat-related complications. And the Prime Minister saying on Tuesday that since the 18th of June, over the past 5 days, 40 people have drowned in rivers and the sea after getting into difficulty after going into these bodies of water to try to seek relief from the heat. Ross Cullen for CBC News, Paris.
And that's it for tonight. I'm Virginie Anne in Whitehorse, Yukon. Thanks for watching. Have a good night out there.